What's up, guys? Chase Oliver 68 here, bringing you my UFC on Fox 7 recap and results show. Anyways, guys, just want to give you a heads up later tonight. If you're a boxing fan, you don't want to miss out on this fight. Undefeated Saul Canelo Alvarez is taking on Austin Trout in a 154 unification title bout. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. It's on Showtime. Now, you guys are wondering, how do I know if it's on Showtime? Do I get it? You know, is it free on Showtime? If you have Showtime, it is a free show. It's channel 545 on DirecTV. But if you don't have it, I believe that the pay-per-view price will be $29.95, which is pretty solid for a good boxing card. I cannot wait to look at that show. I'm going to be watching that show as well, and I'm going to be recapping mostly the main event. And if there was something on the undercard that I want to talk about, I'll probably talk about it on there. Just want to give you guys a heads up that I'm doing 2 videos today, mainly because I love Saul Canelo Alvarez. Really great kid, really great story. I love Austin Trout. I really like his attitude that he brings to the ring, and really it's a fight that I want to see and talk about. So that's why I'm going to do another video tonight, and I didn't want to mix like UFC on Fox 7 with the video. I was planning on just putting in one big video, but then I just said, you know what, just make 2 videos on it. I mean, some UFC fans, some MMA fans don't care about, you know, boxing in general, and understandably so. So let's get started with the UFC on Fox 7. Quick little note on the undercard. Former flyweight contender Joseph Benavidez defeated Darren Yamina via TKO. Chad Money Mendes, former featherweight contender, beat Darren Elkins via TKO. So good night for Team Alpha Male. Hell, I mean, good week for Team Alpha Male. Last weekend, Uriah Faber defeated Scott Jorgensen. I know I didn't review that show. Sorry about that. But let's just move on forward as we got Matt Brown taking on Jordan Mine. Matt Brown was very, very underlooked coming into this fight. Jordan Mine probably was more of the favorite, I would say. But Matt Brown, once again, you know, he proved his doubters wrong. The first round, this fight was just crazy. These two were just standing, banging, doing takedowns. Like, they were doing a really good job trying to entertain. And I bet you Dana White was really happy that these guys came out, you know, started off this Fox show really, really fast. Because, you know, the Fox shows, you know, I think they keep getting better and better and better every time, in my personal opinion. I think that every Fox show just keeps getting better and better. I feel like the UFC on Fox cards are sometimes better than like the pay-per-view fights we get, and that's kind of sad in a way. But hey, you know what? Matt Brown wins via second round TKO. He's gonna keep on trying to rebuild his career, redeem himself, and hey, you know what? I like Matt Brown, so keep up the good work, Matt Brown. All right, moving on forward. Josh Punk Thompson, yeah, the Punk, he's back, baby, taking on Nate Diaz. Oh, wow. This fight right here, I personally said, like, if this was 6 years ago, I would be in love with this fight because that's when I thought these fighters were in their, like, super-duper prime. But Josh Thompson, you know, ever since coming back to the UFC, it seems like he's very hungry, very determined to, you know, prove himself. And he's done it again. He defeated Nate Diaz in the second round TKO. Josh Thompson looked really good in this fight. I thought Nate Diaz, in all honesty, looked lackluster. I didn't know what he was doing out there. I don't know if he's going to move back to the welterweight division or stay in the lightweight division. You know, that's up to Nate Diaz if he wants to move up or down. But in all honesty here, he didn't really look impressive to me. I really thought that it was kind of just, you know, performance for Nate Diaz, but a great performance for Josh Thompson. He's definitely moving his way up to ranks in the lightweight division, with Anthony Pettis going to go down to the featherweights and take on Jose Aldo for the featherweight title. You know, is Josh Thompson in discussion, you know, for the UFC lightweight title? We have to wait and see on that, but it's definitely an interesting fight. Nonetheless, if Josh Thompson, you know, I don't know who they would put him against. Maybe Melvin Gillard or Donald Cerrone, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, the co-main event of the evening for UFC on Fox 7. Very anticipated fight. You know, this was supposed to happen last year. Didn't happen. Daniel Black Fedor, as a lot of fans like to call him. I don't know where that name came about, but some fans do call him Black Fedor. I didn't make it up. Go type it up if you didn't hear it. Daniel Cormier is taking on Frank Mir, former UFC heavyweight champion. Both guys are very, 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 very illustrious in their fighting career, especially Daniel Cormier, undefeated. You know, came out of nowhere in the Strikeforce heavyweight Grand Prix. You know, he's a great story. A lot of people can get behind Daniel Cormier. And Frank Mir, You know Frank Mir. He's always down to fight no matter what. And the thing was, I want to say Daniel Cormier, out of most people who normally debut in the UFC, they have bad outings. I don't think Daniel Cormier had a terrible outing. I think that he was just trying to play it way too safe at times. I was more unimpressed with how Frank Mir looked. Like Daniel Cormier, his wrestling, it shows that this guy is a very, very good wrestler. I mean, he was like out clinching Frank Mir. He was like, there was one point in the fight where Daniel Cormier slipped after trying to do a head kick. And, this is a position, like, if you slip against Frank Mir and Frank Mir is going to grab your head and you're on the ground, you're pretty much in trouble. Like, for most fighters, that is. But Daniel Cormier got up, was in good position, went back to dirty boxing. I don't know why he was playing it safe. Maybe he was kind of afraid of Frank Mir's submission-style grappling. Maybe he didn't want to take Frank Mir to the ground. Understandably so. I don't think this was a bad performance for Daniel Cormier. I actually thought he looked really good. I just felt like Frank Mir was very lackluster. Maybe this hurts Daniel Cormier's stock, I guess, in a way, because the fans were not really impressed with Daniel Cormier. I mean, if you watch a Strikeforce fight, you would see why a lot of people were impressed with Daniel Cormier. He didn't really show that type of boxing that we saw, in the Strikeforce fights. There were some times where he was standing up, and he did have that type of boxing where it was like, that's Daniel Cormier boxing. That's why we say that he is one of the few people that could probably beat Jon Jones, because his striking so crisp. But then then there's other times where, he's kind of pushing back in the fence and, he's not really doing much. And when I think about it, Daniel Cormier, there's a lot of debate. Should he stay in the heavyweight division? Because we don't know. He trains at AKA. The current heavyweight champion, Cain Velasquez, is his friend. You know how fighters are when it comes to fighting friends. We don't want to fight each other. That type of deal. They don't want to fight each other. So does Daniel Cormier move to the light heavyweight division? I mean, I think he would do wonderful in the light heavyweight division. You can obviously see his wrestling is very top-notch. He can handle himself very well in the light heavyweight division. A lot of the light heavies, try to implement a lot of wrestling into their attacks. And someone like a Jon Jones, could this guy beat Jon Jones possibly? I'm not saying Daniel Cormier can beat Jon Jones, but he probably has one of the highest possibilities if you're to rank most of the fighters in the light heavyweight division. He probably has one of the higher chances to beat Jon Jones. I think like the two fighters that have the best chance at defeating Jon Jones are Daniel Cormier and Lyoto Machida. Those are the two fighters that I really feel that are the people that can beat Jon Jones. And I know a lot of people said, well, Lyoto lost to Jon Jones, that one time. But, this is a Dragon we're talking about. The Dragon is a really good counterpuncher. I could go in all details why I think Lyoto could beat Jon Jones in the near future. But congratulations to Daniel Cormier. This fight was disappointing, though. I'm not going to deny it. It didn't live up to what a lot of people were expecting from this fight. All right, we move on to the main event of the evening. Benson Henderson, UFC Lightweight Champion, taking on the former UFC Strikeforce Lightweight, UFC Strikeforce, that just sounds nasty. Strikeforce Lightweight Champion, or current Strikeforce Lightweight Champion, I don't know what you want to call it, Gilbert El Nino Melendez. Let me just tell you right now, this fight was pretty damn good. I enjoyed this fight. Now, it's not as good as Condit versus Johnny Hendricks at the UFC GSP versus Diaz show. But this was a pretty damn good fight. Fun fight to watch. This is a fight that if you said, hey, we're going to do Henderson versus Melendez 2, I would not be upset with the UFC doing it. Very close fight. I really did not know how this fight was, going for most of the fight. I was kind of like, is Henderson winning this fight or is Melendez? And, with the stats, I kind of felt, like if you watch boxing and UFC grades on the boxing curve, which I think is ridiculous still, they need to change the scoring system for the UFC in all honesty. But if you know boxing and you know anything, the person who's landing the most strikes normally wins. And Benson was landing more strikes. But I understand why some people may have thought Gilbert Melendez was winning this fight, because he did catch the leg a couple times. He did stuff a couple takedowns. I felt that, Henderson got the advantage because of the 2 takedowns that he had in this fight. And, this was a great 5-round fight. I suggest you guys check it out. It's my fight of the night. I thought it was very, very good. Benson Henderson, though, won via split decision. And after the fight, very controversial. I don't know if you want to do this in San Jose and Gilbert's backyard, especially that these fans are pissed off that their boy just lost. But he goes and proposes to his wife. And you could either say it was a class act, or you could say that it was terrible. I don't know. We've gotten times like Boise State versus Oklahoma back in 2007 where the running back, he proposed to the cheerleader. You know, a lot of people thought that was sweet. I don't know where you rank this. I just thought it's a nice little touching thing to do. But I don't know. For mixed martial arts, you really want to see that. Like, I thought it was nice what he said about Caesar Gracie's gym and Gilbert Melendez himself. Class act on Benson Henderson. Always going to get some good stuff about him. He's never really going to say bad things about anyone. But in all honesty, I don't know about the whole proposal thing. Like, he's a class act when it comes down to, you know, respecting other fighters. But the whole proposal thing, maybe it was taking it over at the top a little bit. But overall, UFC on Fox 7, like I said, these box shows keep getting better and better. They always know how to deliver on these box shows. And I don't know what's going to be happening next for most of these fighters. I'm guessing Cormier may go to 205. Josh Thompson is going to earn himself a big time, you know, lightweight champion. No, not lightweight championship fight, but a lightweight contender. Matt Brown is definitely moving up the ranks in the welterweight. I won't be surprised if he gets a big fight soon. We're going to have to wait and see, but this was overall a fun card to watch. One dull fight, but other than that, I enjoyed myself. I had fun watching this card. And if you guys like this card, tell me down below. What was your fight of the night? Who did you guys like the most? Who did you thought was the most impressive? I thought, you know, Benson Henderson was pretty impressive, and Gilbert Melendez. Like, both guys deserve, you know, the lightweight championship in this fight. They were so equal with each other. It was ridiculous. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. Remember, later tonight, probably around like 10:30 my time, so 1:30 Eastern time, I think that's when the fight should end. I'll be going over the Sal Canelo Alvarez fight against Austin Trout. Can't wait to watch that fight. That's going to be a crazy-ass boxing match. But if you guys like me, you can subscribe either by clicking the little icon right here or down below. Like this video if you liked me. Give me your thoughts on the UFC. Send your video responses, like recapping the show. Or, you know, just send a comment down below what you thought. Anyways, guys, this is Chase Oliver 68 here. I'll see you all later tonight. And I say peace for now.